thank you so much for stopping by at the Her Cottage Garden. It is the middle of January and we are all very anxious and cannot wait for spring and summer to come. And so I decided to do a video and recap all of the flowers that I grew from last year and all of the lessons that I learned, and hopefully not repeat this year. I hope you all will enjoy this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Thanks again for stopping by. Roses are definitely tricky, at least for me in my garden. I think that they're easy to grow, but they can become very needy and dramatic. And so I am definitely learning a lot from these roses. I did order a couple of David Austin roses to grow this year in my garden, and so please, I hope that they will survive and thrive and grow for me. I think what makes it tricky and hard for me as far as roses is that they're either suffering from a disease or being eaten by a bug. And so I think if I do a better job of monitoring that and taking more precautionary steps, maybe I'll have more of a success with roses. And so this year, my focuses will definitely be on roses and dahlias and hoping to succeed in them and not give up. These are Asiatic lilies that I planted when we first moved into our home, and so probably 6 or 7 years ago, and the soil is not good, and so as you can see they haven't really flourished, but I still do love them very much. And these are the poo dahlias. They didn't turn out to be like what it was pictured, but they're still so very cute. These red yarrow here I planted when we also first moved into our home, and it has definitely flourished. I have split it up several times and it just loves our soil. This is the variegated nasturtium, which is so beautiful, and the morning glory, which I failed to grow, and some verbena and a phlox in the background surrounding my hydrangea tree. This is the Chinese forget-me-not flowers that I winter sowed, and they were very successful. These grew like crazy, and I love the dainty little small blue flowers. These hollyhocks are precious to me. When we first moved into our home, my father-in-law had planted these tall red hollyhocks, and every year they reseed themselves and grow back, and I love them. This is the blue dwarf delphinium, the moonbeam behind it, and comphrenas that I grew. For me, growing poppies was a little intimidating because I have never attempted it before, but it was very easy, and so I will definitely grow more this year in my garden. This is the Pro Cut Plum sunflower, and as you can see, I love growing sunflowers of different types and varieties. But I think for 2024, I plan to grow these sunflowers more as part of the landscape so that I can free up more space in my cut flower garden to focus on growing other things like dahlias. I really want to succeed in growing dahlias this year, and so I will plan to grow more dahlias and learn and practice and hopefully succeed this year. I was telling my husband that when I look back at my videos of this garden, I still am in awe and in shock that we were both able to work so hard and make this garden a reality, because it was a lot of hard work for sure. I remember shooting this video here and it was raining outside, but look at how it captured the rain falling on the flowers. It's so beautiful. This was my first time growing poppies, and this variety is a salmon peony poppy, and it was so easy to grow. And so this will definitely be a repeat flower for my garden this year in 2024. Last year in 2023, I think the number one plant in my garden that surprised me the most was the cup and saucer vine. It grew like crazy from just one plant. It must have been like 12 feet long, and it attracted hummingbirds and bees that would crawl into the flower and would just sleep in there. And we got a visit from Mr. Hummingbird every single day. It was an amazing plant. I will definitely repeat it this year in my garden in 2024. I guess I should include these gladiolus flowers. These are my husband's favorite flowers. And we must not forget the beautiful hydrangea hedge in front of my house. These were already here when we moved into our home, and I definitely would say these plants are the ones that started my gardening addiction, and a huge part of why I started this YouTube channel. This is my shade garden in the front of my house. This is the ornamental allium called Serendipity, and this is its second year in the garden, and the bumblebees just love them. This is the Gomphrena alley, and as you can see, they thrived and flourished and did very well. I really never dreamed I would plant hibiscus or even try to grow them, but I decided to give it a try, and they were gorgeous. This is the tiger lily, and they grow around my neighbors' gardens, and so I decided to give it a shot too, and they're still very small. I had this bright idea to grow some filler flowers in my vegetable garden, and that was not successful. And so this year I definitely will grow them somewhere else where the soil is better. These are the Dalia mix I grew as seeds, and those were very successful. These are the Fama White Scabiosa and zinnias. I just love growing zinnias, and I can't help myself, and this year I have ordered too many zinnia seeds, and so we'll see how I will incorporate them into the landscape this year. I just can't get enough of zinnias. Okay, so I lied. There's actually another plant that really surprised me last year. It was this nasturtium, and I think it was the Tip Top Red. It just loved it here, and it got as wide as the cut flower garden plot right there. I think it was about 4 feet wide. This cover crop here, buckwheat, was very fun to grow. This flower reminds me of the Korean drama, The Goblin, and I planted it more because it reminded me of the Korean drama, but also because it's a cover crop which would help the soil in my vegetable garden. This next plant really tested me. I thought it would be so easy to grow these dahlias, and it was not. I planted them too close together. I did not do a good job of monitoring them from infestations, and so they got attacked by aphids. They had blooms that were deformed and they never got tall like how they were supposed to. And I lost all of my tubers because I did not store them well. And so these are all the lessons learned that I will definitely remember and not repeat for this year's garden. I did order some more Dalia tubers, and I'm hoping that this year I'll have a successful year. I just need to really focus on these dahlias. As the garden started winding down and summer ended and fall began, I noticed that some of my flowers, like the Royal Alyssum here, were still growing and thriving in my garden. Thanks so much for coming by and watching my video. I hope that from the lessons I learned in my garden from last year, hopefully it will help you also with your garden this year. And I wish you all the best for your garden planning for this year, and I can't wait to see what is in store for all of us. Thanks for stopping by.